Hello, friends, enemies. Lately, as I've been scrolling through TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of videos of people cloning garments that they already purchased from the store and making new versions of them, just like in different colors. So today I thought we would clone a dress that I really, really like. This is a dress that I bought at Hot Topic of all places, and I absolutely love it. I love the way that it fits. I love the way that it flows. And whenever I go out, I always get a bunch of compliments on it. So I went to Joann's and I found some really nice Halloween fabric that I like. So I thought, okay, well, let's try cloning this dress and remaking it out of that Halloween fabric. I am not an expert at sewing by any means. Like, my knowledge of sewing extends to the semester of home economics my public school in Illinois made everybody take in the 6th grade. So that's kind of what I've got planned for today, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. I think that's as good as that's gonna get. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
So now basically what I'm doing is I've laid down the dress on the paper and I am tracing along the seams. And then I measured the seams and I measured the lines that I have on the paper to make sure that they're the same. So across the top and across the bottom and along the sides, just making sure that all of the measurements from the dress are the same as what I have in the pattern. And then once that's done, I went and I cut everything out.
Okay, that took way longer than I thought it would to get all these pieces traced. This construction paper is definitely not the appropriate material for this. Probably tissue paper would have been better so that you can like see the seams through it. So that's kind of what took so long. So got all this cut out. Now I need to cut out the fabric. But first I'm gonna eat something because I have been at this for hours and I'm super hungry. Okay, so I've got two different fabrics. I got this like Halloween one. Well, technically they're both Halloween fabrics, but like this one you can kind of pass off as like not being Halloween fabric, whereas this one, it is very clearly Halloween fabric, and I do not have the self-confidence to wear Halloween stuff after Halloween. So I got to get this done. So I thought I would do this one first, and then if I F it up or, you know, something like that, well, it's just a Halloween dress, and I'm only going to wear it like a couple times, 1 month a year. So it doesn't matter if it looks great or not. And then I could kind of learn from my mistakes when doing this one, which I'll probably wear more often. Anyway, let's give it a try. Now. Okay, now I am ready to start cutting the fabric. Now, the thing that is going to make this difficult, not difficult for me, but annoying, is that I got a fabric that's got like stripy things going on, and so I'm gonna have to try to make sure that they at least kind of line up, because that's gonna drive me insane if it doesn't. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. So I think if I just kind of line them up adjacent to each other. Bodice 1, 2, 3. Sleeves. The sleeves probably aren't gonna line up with the pattern. I'm not even gonna attempt that. Ow! Son of a Okay, so this is something that I saw on TikTok. We'll see if it works. You just stick a magnet, and that, I guess, will help with the seam allowance. So let's see if it works. Basically, what I guess the purpose of the magnet is, like, it provides a spacer. So if you cut so that there's, like, the space of the magnet in between, that kind of gives you your seam allowance when you're working like with a pattern that doesn't have a seam allowance, which in my case I did not do anything for the seam allowance. Damn, these scissors are real nice. I can see why these scissors were expensive. Like, these scissors were pretty expensive, but I wanted to like have a really nice pair of scissors because all my scissors at home are just crap. And so I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a real nice pair of scissors. And when I say that out loud, it sounds real sad. But you know what? A nice pair of scissors is so useful. That is clever. Okay, not the prettiest cuts, but good enough. Good enough. There's that.
And it was at this point that I decided I want a lining, so now I'm cutting that out.
All right, so I've got all my pieces cut out, and now I'm just going to kind of pin everything together and see kind of how it fits before I actually start sewing. So yes, that's the plan. I don't know if that's the correct way to do any of this. We're just gonna wing it. Okay, so I'm actually gonna start back here. This goes. I do not know how to do this, but I watched like one whole tutorial. That's probably enough, I'm sure.
And because it's Halloween, here's some jaunty Halloween music, courtesy of YouTube's free music library. And now it's time to sew.
I was not planning on filming anything right now, which is why I look like this. This is me in my natural state. This painting behind me has been sitting on this easel for like a year, right? I started painting it, and then I just lost interest and never gained it back. So you'll probably be noticing this half-finished painting in my background for months. Maybe I'll never finish it. It'll just sit there. Maybe one of these days we'll finish it together. Today's not that day. All right, so I'm learning a couple things here. And this is a mistake that I made that I'm like, I cannot believe I made this mistake. I should not have had to make this mistake to learn something. But there is a definite order of operations that things need to happen in, which I'm sure if you're like a really experienced sewist, you know these things. These are probably things that you just learn through experience. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, my knowledge of sewing extends to like the one sewing class I took in 6th grade. So, and I want it to look good on the inside. So I don't like homemade garments where the inside just looks terrible, right? Like the inside looks like shit. So I'm like, well, I don't want the inside to look like shit. So I'm going to make a lining. And it should have occurred to me that before you combine the two, or before you even cut out the lining, you need to assemble kind of the outside and throw it on the dress form and make sure that it's actually going to fit the way you want it to. And then you can kind of cut out the lining accordingly, or I could have updated my pattern accordingly. Instead, I cut out all the pieces for both the lining and the regular part and made them all and sewed them all together, then threw it on the dress form to see how it fit. And then I was like, oh, shit. So now I have to kind of pull them apart. Now, if I were making something from a pattern, then it wouldn't matter. Or not necessarily that it wouldn't matter. Then I could, probably safely cut things. It's an established pattern. I'm sure the person who made the pattern knows how to make patterns, right? I don't. This is my first time. But yeah, this is what's happening. So anyway, I need to seam rip all of this, then put one of these on the dress form and, get it all sized accordingly and then sew it all back together. Yeah, that was me. That was my bad. Okay, so I took my dress form out here so that you wouldn't have to look at my very messy craft room right now. So basically I just need to kind of pin this so that it's not quite so weird around the neck, because it is just a little bit off, and the shoulders are not quite sitting on top. So that's kind of something there. I think the back piece was just a little bit too tall, and then I'm probably going to have to like remove the sleeves and stuff too, I think. But I think what I want to do is just pin this so that it will sit like it's buttoned. And then I'll probably have to take off the sleeves because the way that it's working is the sleeves are very much misaligned. I am glad I have this dress form because it does make this a lot easier to check the fit. Now, one of the reasons why the front is like this is because I decided to do a different type of collar than the original dress had. So I want to do like a rounded kind of, like a rounded situation right here. But I think
this area is still too long.
Yeah, I think that's better. Hopefully you can see it against this background. Yeah, so I think for now, this is kind of what I got. Hopefully it'll turn out.
Okay, so now I'm ready to make the collar. So I've got this sweater right here that has kind of the collar that I'm looking at. Like, the difference is this collar has these kind of pointed edges and I just want them rounded a little bit, but the general shape is what I want. So I'm going to use this as my inspiration here, or the thing that I'm going to trace. All right, and the next thing is I decided I wanted to do a flutter sleeve instead of a regular sleeve, just because I kind of feel like those look a little more flattering with my arms. I'll link the video that I watched down in the description if you're interested in seeing who it is who supplied this tutorial. And I felt like it was a pretty good tutorial, like they did a good job. Okay, so I've got it mostly done except for the buttons. But here's what I have so far. I think I might change up the sleeves a little bit. I wanted to do a flutter sleeve, but when I put it on and I looked at myself in the mirror, I was like, wow, I thought the sleeves would be a little flutterier than that.
I expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
Before, when I had to adjust kind of this back portion, I thought that the back portion was too long and that's what was causing the problem. But it turns out that the front portions were too short. So the back portion was a good length, but the front was too short. So now I know for like, if I make this dress again in that other fabric, now I know front part is what's too long. Because right here, this is where the waist is cutting off. And my waist is short, but it's about an inch lower than where it's falling on this dress. So it's causing the dress to be a little shorter than I was anticipating. So yeah, just all around, I am pretty happy with it. It's a little bit tight up top. So I think just in general, these front pieces here were just a little bit too small. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out. All right, let's get some buttons on this thing.
Hello again. Also in my natural state. The buttons that I got from Michael's were in a sorted pack, but they didn't mention on it that there's only 2 of each type of button. So now I've got like, I don't know, 100 buttons and no 3 are the same. Anyway, I went to Hobby Lobby, hail Satan, and got some buttons there. So when I started this project, it was 100 degrees outside. It is now 5 days later, and it is 50 degrees outside. That's desert living for you. It's also windy as outside. So this is like a fun, cozy crafting day.
Now I'm just sewing on the buttons. I had to wait to do this until the special foot for sewing buttonholes arrived. So with that foot, the machine pretty much just does it automatically. You just have to press the pedal, nothing special. And then once all the buttonholes were sewn, then I just went ahead and hand stitched on the buttons. And once the buttons were all sewn on, the dress was complete. Here's the spooky reveal.
Anyway, so here it is. Here's the finished dress. I'm really happy with this. The overall dress is about an inch shorter than I would like it to be. So this is definitely like a, hey, wear shorts under it kind of deal. Yeah, it was about as hard as I thought it would be. And by as hard as I thought it would be, I didn't think it would be super easy. I just didn't think it was going to be as difficult as a lot of people seem to think it is. Anytime I would make a mistake, it was a mistake that I was able to quickly understand what it is that I did wrong and how to avoid it in the future. So it wasn't necessarily like I keep making the same mistake over and over and over again and I don't know how to fix it. At no point did I have that feeling. Okay, so I was talking over there. And then I got a notification on my camera that said, your SD card's out of memory. And now I forgot what I was talking about, but I do know one thing. I am tired of standing there talking. So we're going to sit by my downstairs bookshelf and then finish this up. But yeah, overall, I'm really excited with how this turned out. I was worried that it was going to be tight because this was tight on the dress form. And I was like, oh crap, it's going to be real tight on me. It's going to be too small. And then I'm never going to wear it. And I'm going to have to give it to my 12-year-old niece again. I can't tell you how many things I've made for myself that have gone to my nieces. Anyway, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.